This story is told by my parents while they were still young. My mum loves to play at the treehouse near her home. Therefore, my grandparent decided to hang a swing so that she could play just beside the tree. One day, while her grandparents have gone out to a wedding, my mum went out to play to cease her boredom. While she was swinging, a lady in red was walking past that caught her attention. She was curious as why lady would be walking around in the middle of the night. As she approaches the lady from the back, suddenly, the lady's head turned a 180-degree back and looked at my mum and said, "Have you seen my daughter?" She kept repeating the sentence and followed by a loud shriek. My mum was so terrified that she fainted on the spot. Later she was woken back up when my grandparents sprinkled some holy water on her face. It is said that the ghost was looking for her lost child. This happens to me a few years ago. There is a stretch of synthetic water barriers to prevent erosion to the shore, just right beside the lake where people water ski. We were at a small bridge area, and the barriers are rather steep with a small field of grass and small trees behind it. I was eating it there with my girlfriend. After dinner we sat down on the edge of the coast, with our legs hanging down from the synthetic barrier on that long stretch. It was a very windy night, and while she's hugging me, I closed my eyes to relax. All was calm until I heard a splash in the dark lake. It didn't sound like a fish jumping out, but as if something was rising up. I opened my eyes and saw a dark shadowy figure staring at me with big glowing eyes. I dare say it wasn't someone but something. As I could tell by the silhouette, it has fins looking things sticking out. I immediately jerked and pushed my girlfriend away, but that thing submerges back into the lake and it was gone. Till today, I did not know whether or not is it just my hallucination, but I never approached that shore again. When I was admitted to a hospital for appendicitis, I recalled a horrifying tale told by one of the cleaner granny, who always come into the ward I was admitted at to clean the area. Due to boredom for staying in the hospital, I befriended her, and she told me the incident that she had encountered at the old previous hospital, which she used to work. The old hospital, she describes, used to be creepy, with lots of big trees, the lights were very dim, and the pathway was rather spooky, unlike now. It was at that night when the granny was pushing a trolley at one of the sheltered pathway in the building premises. On the left side of the pathway stood several big and tall trees. The sheltered pathway itself was dimly lit, making the whole place look totally eerie. It was at this moment the granny suddenly caught something moving about among the trees. The movement indicates that someone or something was running from one tree to another at a top speed in a funny and strange running motion. The granny thoughtlessly stopped and tried to focus her eyes on that area by staring at the trees. Finally, she caught a glimpse of the shape. The figure looks like a very tall man, and he seems to be holding a sickle which people used to cut down vines. But the strange thing was that he had an incredibly long legs. Twice the length of a normal human legs, and the creature was playing peekaboo with the granny. It was so disturbing that the granny left her trolley there and ran away from that place. The granny related the incident to a security guard, and the guard explained to her that it was probably a Hantu-Gala or pole ghost. Not sure if it meant any harm or not. This happened when I was still in middle school. I was a first year and was having my school orientation camp. It was night and the prefects at the orientation camp held a bogeyman game. The rule of this game is simple. We were to catch the prefect dressed in cloak who wore the bogeyman. The first year was being grouped into different groups and set off to have fun. That's when something weird starts to happen. My group saw someone dressed in red cloak with a hood covering his face. And worse, it was dark, so it was hard to tell. We assumed that was one of the bogeymen and started to give chase. The bogeyman ran to the grass patch which separates the school from an elementary school. Just right in front of them, the bogeyman had disappeared. We searched around that area, but they wasn't allowed to cross over as we must stay within the school compound. Soon the time was up and we went back empty-handed. When we returned, all the prefects and other group was already there. We asked which of the prefects was the bogeyman that ran to the grass patch. Not a single prefect said they did, and the shocking part was none of them were dressed in red cloak. Only green. My family were on a holiday trip that year, and my sister and I loved to play with the waves at the beach, as you can't get that kind of waves back at my place. As we were enjoying ourselves, I accidentally stumbled upon a pair of legs sticking out from the water. At first, I thought I was imagining it, so I went closer to get a better look. And turns out, it really was a pair of legs sticking out. I reached out to touch it, and it felt really cold. It just sent shivers down my spine. I quickly called my sister and told her, pointing at the spot where I saw the legs, and my sister saw the pair of legs too. We kept staring at it, and I thought it could be someone trapped, or drowned, or something. When both of us was about to call our older brother, who was resting at the beach. But when my sister and I turned to look for the pair of legs, it was nowhere to be found. We looked around at the spot, and I even went underwater to look. But it was just nowhere to be seen. That's when our mom called out to us, asking what we are looking for. We just said nothing. And suddenly felt an eerie feeling in the water. What or who was that playing trick on us? All I know, I was not imaging it, and so did my sister. We quickly get out of the water, trembling all the way back to our hotel.